Veronica, Alice Krige, is a former movie star, recuperating after a double mastectomy. Craving quiet, she heads to this remote retreat in Scotland, bringing along her reluctant nurse, Desi. On arriving, she finds an insufferable artist-in-residence and hides away in a cabin on the grounds. But there is something in this forest, something ancient and alive, soaked into the peat, and it speaks to Veronica. She Will opens with a title-proclaiming Dario Argento Presents, which would at some point in the past have been a really good thing, and now is kind of an ill omen. The film starts off well with a compelling mix of abstract imagery that resolves into Krige on board the train to Scotland. She's in immense pain, and she's kind of cocooned in this wood-panelled narrow room, like she's contained within a coffin. It's the main publicity image, it's actually the thumbnail for this review, and you can see why. It encapsulates what the film's about, or what it should be about, but we'll get to that. On arrival at the retreat, the film takes a sharp left turn, introducing this broad satire of artist retreats headed up by the insufferable Tirador, who is a game Rupert Everett, at its centre. There's this whirlwind introduction, and then Veronica and Desi are shuffled off to their cabin. En route, they're given some exposition about the ancient history of the place, that there were witch burnings here, and that the dirt itself supposedly has healing properties. Now this sets up the essential plot of the film, as Veronica starts to commune with the land around her, and in doing so unlocks or utilises maybe some sort of natural power that enables her to take revenge on the man who wronged her, who is played by Malcolm McDowell, as some sort of superstar British film director who cast her as a child in his film. In these moments, in the quiet of the forest, you get to see why Alice Krige is such an asset to the movie. In the daylight, she's sniping at and then eventually warming to her nurse and coming to terms with scars, both physical and some long-hidden psychological ones. I really like Alice Krige. I think she's an immensely talented actress, and here she takes something quite abstract and turns it into a grounded, real feeling. I think that's because she has this wonderfully delicate physicality that's also quite steely. She's like a willow tree that's waving in the wind, but you can tell is firmly rooted. So in the night, when she's drawn to this power, she breathes in deep, eyes closed, and is almost pulled out of bed, rolling up, moving like she's puppeted. It's a striking moment. And Krige's performance is aided too by some amazing images, particularly this creeping peat that slimily rolls up the hill to the cabin in a sort of disquieting motion. With this sort of horror, I think you're aiming to cast a spell on the audience, drawing them into a fantastical world where the rules of our reality no longer apply. So you can see why Dario Argento was so drawn to this project, because the best of his work has exactly that quality, an almost wholesale rejection of plot in favour of image and sensation. Unfortunately, about every 30 minutes or so, the film veers off again into broad comedy about artist retreats, totally breaking that spell. And it's not that that comedy stuff is actually particularly bad. In fact, I think it's pretty funny, but it's wholly different to the ethereal and threatening tone in the rest of the movie. In one moment, the two actually interact when a man's hand spontaneously lights on fire during one of Tirador's sessions. That should be horrifying, I think. A fantastical intrusion of an unholy power into modern life. But in my screening, all it got was a hearty laugh. In the film's final third, it really loses the thread of its abstract ideas too. Instead of focusing on its central images, a confusing montage of very abstract elements plays repeatedly. And I mean, we're talking ink dots, fire, a distorted lake, a drone shot of an island with some crumbling walls in it. I don't know. I had the sense almost that the director, Charlotte Colbert, lost her nerve in the edit. She Will is a mixed film, I think, very mixed, and ultimately unsuccessful, despite there being at least two really good ideas in it. Unfortunately, the problem is that those ideas don't mix well at all. That's it from me on this movie, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so let's have a chat about it. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.